Good morning. I'm Rosemary Lloyd, your interim pastoral care minister while Kit and Nate are on parental leave. And I'm so happy to welcome you this morning to First Parish in Lincoln. For 275 years and counting, we have been a home for seekers of meaning and light and truth. And we're grateful to have you with us this morning as we continue our journey of nurturing spirituality, building community, and pursuing justice. A big greeting to all those who are worshiping with us online this morning. We're so glad that you're here, and fingers crossed everything's working well for you on the other side. A very special welcome to any who are visiting with us this morning. Sarah Kay or I would be so happy to greet you afterwards, so please join us for coffee and conversation in the Stearns room, which you can find access to through the two doors on either side of the pulpit out front here. And a special thank you to the folks providing hospitality for us today, Mimsy Beckwith and Sue Stason, although I also saw, are you doing? Okay, and Diana Smith is also helping out. On this Sunday before Thanksgiving, there are so many people to thank who brought all the elements together so that we could have this service, and I want to thank them. Our music director, Miranda Loud, and the choir, the ushers who greeted you, Barbara Sampson and Chris Hamilton, John Kurzwicki, and Barbara Slater. Thanks to our lay leader, Ben Wells, for being with us in this pulpit this morning. Gratitude for the flowers that were presented by Carolyn and Paul Monty in loving memory of their mothers, Cynthia Hubner and Mary Ann Heaney Monty. I hope you'll take a moment to check out your insert that's in your order of worship. I want to draw your attention especially to that we're having a forum after church today. Sarah Kay will be leading a presentation on Liturgy 101. So come and join us afterwards. There's so much going on. You'll see here also we have our holiday insert, so much going on in the holiday season to come. It's really amazing. Inside and outside these walls, lives are being touched, lives are being changed, and there is still so much to be done. So much light to break through, so much to break forth from the holy. So whoever you are, however you love, whatever experience of church you've had, we are glad you are here. Because of you, our body is more complete this morning. Thank you. So now I invite us to rise in body or in spirit as we say together the opening words found in your order of worship. For the sun and the dawn, which we did not create,
for the moon and the evening, which we did not make,
for the food which we plant but cannot grow,
for friends and loved ones who have not earned and cannot buy,
for this gathered company, which welcomes us as we are from wherever we have come,
for all our free churches that keep us human and encourage us in our quest for beauty, truth, and love,
for all things which come to us as gifts from sources beyond ourselves,
gifts of life and love and friendship, we lift up our hearts in thanks this day.
us, and please join me if you wish in saying the covenant. In the love of truth and in the spirit of Jesus, we unite with the worship of God and the service of all. Please be seated.
How's everybody doing today? Yeah? It's almost Thanksgiving. Did you know that? Up here, okay. I always forget. Can you tell me something that you're grateful for? Or something that you're thankful for? Charlie.
I'm grateful for my family.
Emma.
I'm grateful for my leg that has finally healed.
Yeah, me too. Was there a hand over here?
I'm grateful for the mashed potatoes.
Who is it?
I'm grateful for toys.
Boys, okay.
Same as Joey, my leg is healing.
Yes.
I'm grateful for turkey.
For turkey, yes. So let me ask you guys a question. Do you always say thank you?
No.
Always, 100% of the time? I don't. I know I forget sometimes. So what I'd like to talk about for a few minutes is that being grateful and being kind are kind of connected, right? Let me tell you a really short little story. There's a girl named Emily, and every week her grandmother brought over the best cookies. They were so good. Chocolate chip cookies, and she always looked forward to it. She loved these cookies. But they became a routine, and she just forgot to thank her. It was like, oh yay, the cookies are here. And one day she remembered, and she gave her grandmother the biggest hug and said, thank you so much. You spend time with me. You spend time to bake these cookies, and I just love you. Thank you. Her grandmother had the biggest smile on her face and gave her the biggest, tightest hug and said, you made my day. You made my day just by saying that to me. And so what I would like to just remind you is that when you're grateful for something and you actually say thank you, you're being kind to somebody, and you're spreading the gratefulness. And so we're going to do a little kindness craft up the street in a second, and we're going to be kind and say thank you to each other and someone that we're going to maybe give this kindness gift to. So in closing, I just want to have us thank God and the Spirit of life for the kindness around us, and to give us strength to recognize when we are grateful for things and actually say it to people. Thank you. Let's head up the hill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Duty by Lynn Unger. The maple leaves that turned to flame are burning down to embers. Time to bank the fires of the year. I know you feel the darkness closing in, but what makes you think that's your problem to solve? Stop trying to tie leaves back to branches. Answer the questions that are yours to ask. Who is my neighbor? Make the things that are yours to make. Split peas or lentils for the soup. When the old rabbi talked about tikkun olam, your duty to repair the world, he made it clear. The only way creation is restored is through inviting the tiniest shards to find their way back home, to a wholeness we keep trying to imagine.
We come now to the time in our service that we set aside for silent and spoken prayer. In a moment, we will prepare by singing 299 in the Great Hymnal. Following the prayer hymn will be a few minutes of silence for reflection, prayer, meditation. After that, the ministers will come around with microphones and we'll have the opportunity to hear the prayers of the congregation.
Praise the Lord.
Throughout history, the gathered people of faith have come together to bring the joys and the pains, the celebrations and the sorrows of their lives. It's what makes us community. We share with one another. This time, I invite you to raise your hand if you'd like to bring a prayer forward for the community to lift up together.
Even on this beautiful day, it's hard for me not to feel the despair of the world around me. And I pray that I can not look away from the faces of the families and the children and not see in them my family, my children, my grandchildren, and do the right thing to make sure that we take the most humane path forward possible.
This Sunday is the final day of Transgender Awareness Week, and I stand here today to tell you how amazed I am at the diversity of genetic creation that we have in our humanity and presumably everywhere in living things. And I can tell you that I am so impressed and lovingly supportive of my trans daughter, Nico, who enjoys the loving support of her brother and sisters and family and community. And I just wish that this could be something that could extend everywhere to all people who wrestle with this.
A prayer of gratitude and thanks to Sarah Andrusiak for almost 4 years of Lee's teas that were a real gift and joy to all of us.
I'd like to offer a prayer of gratitude to all of the town boards and committees and the employees of the town as they continue in the work, the hours that it takes to pull together the proposals for town meeting. And I know that this may be a difficult town meeting, but I hope that we can know that we are a community and that we need to go forward from this time. We have a lot of questions before us. But I hope that all of us can be there to work our way through the town's legislative process. Thank you.
I want to share a prayer of deep gratitude for the outpouring of sharing and caring impulse on the part of this community during our 2 recent drives to benefit people served by the organization Solutions at Work in Cambridge and Dorchester. The response of the congregation was overwhelming, literally overwhelming. We overflowed vans and cars. We had many local heroes helping, and I had a call yesterday from Tara Riopel, who's the manager in the Cambridge office of Solutions at Work, and our donations were they did their usual loaves and fishes and made our 60, 70 bags into 86 bags to help 86 families. They're going to be able to help 120 in all at Thanksgiving with the food drive, and the clothes are already going out the door. People are dressed more warmly thanks to the generosity of this community. I'm deeply grateful that we can be generous with our neighbors who are not right at our doorstep, as well as those who are right here. Thank you.
We lift up these prayers of our community, both those that have been spoken aloud and those that we have held in the silence of our hearts. Amen.
I would add a prayer of remembrance for Susan Sugar, who passed away recently, for her family. Spirit of love, spirit of compassion, spirit of peace, join us as we are gathered here. These are difficult times. We need you. We call out for your presence. One of my Buddhist teachers talks about the importance of maintaining balance in difficult times. On one side, there's the incredible gift that the world that we've been given, this place, these people. The kingdom of heaven really is available to us. If you don't break down weeping in gratitude from time to time, you might not be paying attention. And on the other side of the balance, there's unbearable suffering in the world. War, hatred, delusion, greed. Sometimes it feels very far away. But today, for me, it feels very close. The trick, my teacher says, is to keep balance, to see both sides clearly without looking away, without closing your eyes, without getting swept into a vortex of anger or ignorance, and to get on with your life with as much gratitude and compassion as you can. He makes it sound simple. Be fully present, see both sides clearly, and don't get pulled in. And I guess I was feeling that would be a good thing to talk about when I agreed to give a prayer this morning. But I'm having trouble finding it. I feel overwhelmed and hopeless in the face of the wars. Looking at Gaza, I feel myself pulled towards judgment and rage. Whose fault is it? Where should we look? Who must pay? Will peace ever be possible? I'm heartbroken. I sense that you are too, Lord. At least that's what I hear when I listen for your small, still voice. When I listen, I hear both a profound wish for peace and helplessness. So that's one side. And on the other side, we have so much to be thankful for. We're surrounded by friends and family we love. We turn on the tap, we know water will come out, water we can actually drink. On Thursday, we will have plenty to celebrate, plenty to eat. Our homes will be warm. Intellectually, we understand that the world is not safe, not truly safe. But much of the time, we feel safe. Or maybe it's more correct to say we have faith. Help us, Lord, to maintain that faith and to live into it. Help us be grateful for every single day. Help us keep our balance in difficult times. May it be so. Please join me, if you wish, in saying the words of the unison prayer, which you'll find in our order of service. We pray to the great spiritual being in which we live and move and have ushers come forward to receive this morning's offering. Please join me, if you wish, in reading the offertory prayer. We give thanks for both these gifts and the givers, and that we ask that we may use these gifts wisely and well, both to nurture the life of this congregation and to further the goals of justice and peace throughout the world.
Brother David Steindl-Rast is a Benedictine monk who teaches about gratefulness as the heart of prayer and a path to liberation. Born in Vienna in 1926, he emigrated to the U.S. with his family in 1952 and entered a monastery in upstate New York when he was 26. This reading is an excerpt from his Thanksgiving letter written last year when he was 96. How can our dreams of a perfect Thanksgiving stand up to the harsh reality of daily life? Is there anything left in our deeply divided society that all of us can still celebrate together? He says, when I tried to answer this rhetorical question, I remembered we can still celebrate people. Doctors, teachers, nurses, artists, countless hidden others, dishwashers in restaurants, people driving school buses, people behind checkout counters, police and cleaning crews in office buildings doing their work while I sleep. And above all, those countless others who bravely smile and make others smile. While we cannot celebrate the world's situation, the people of this world still deserve that we unite to celebrate them. Unite is the decisive word. Grateful celebration brings us together and unites us. Aren't we grateful to street cleaners regardless of their political views? To garbage collectors and air traffic controllers regardless of their sexual persuasion or religious conviction? Do you ask to what political party a lifeguard belongs when they're saving your child? Gratefulness establishes bonds of human respect, stronger than all other contradictions. Thanksgiving Day is our great chance to wake up and give more importance to those bonds that unite us than to the ideologies dividing us. But what does this all mean practically in daily living? He says, I can share a few ideas I'm trying to put into practice. To show more respect for other human beings, the more different they seem from me. To think of all we have in common when I'm amazed at how differently from me others manage to think. To find something good to say about others the moment I want to say something bad. A brother monk asked, well, what would you say about the devil? And another one answered, you have to give him credit. He's industrious. So that's another thing we can do, writes Brother David. Keep clearly in mind what divides us, and yet bridge the dividing gap with a smile. It is with a big smile that I am sending you my good wishes for a Thanksgiving celebration that will wake us up to the realm beyond divisions where all of us, truly, all of us, can gratefully celebrate together. Your Brother David. There's something missing. I feel like I didn't do this during the order of service. Do you have the order of service? During the introductions, and I just wanted to thank you. I wanted to just draw your attention to our order of service, especially as we're approaching Thanksgiving, that each week we print a land acknowledgement in our order. I don't know, we were reading it for a while. I would just like to read it now. We gather today on the unceded homelands of the Massachusetts and Nipmuc peoples. Let us strive to honor all Indigenous peoples by joining their efforts to pursue justice and care for this land. That anthem kind of really got me. Hold on. Well, late November. White lights are glittering in the dark. Holiday decorations are sprouting in stores, and radio stations are playing Santa Baby on repeat. Surely it's almost Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, that season that calls us to a renewed sense of gratitude for all that is our life. This year, let us seize the opportunity to reclaim this most American holiday for a deeper purpose, not allowing it to slip by in a tryptophan haze, a mere stopping point on the way to Christmas. Along with savoring some turkey and pumpkin pie, let's consider renewing a gratitude practice that may actually make us builders of a land of justice and peace. From the time we are children, we saw them earlier, we are encouraged to practice gratitude. Who hasn't been nudged by a parent to say thank you for a gift or a compliment until it becomes a reflex? This early training in social grace establishes a basic level of civil exchange, something we desperately need to reinforce in our divided culture. And saying thank you is a behavior that can evolve from an automatic utterance into a genuine, full-hearted, full-bodied expression of grateful living. The patron saint of gratitude, Brother David Steindl Rast, says that cultivating gratitude is a simple 3-step process. Stop, wake up, go. Each night before going to bed, he writes, I glance back over the day and ask myself, did I stop and allow myself to be surprised? Or did I trudge on in a daze? Was I too busy to wake up to surprise? Once I stopped, did I look for the opportunity that moment presented? Or did I let the circumstances to distract me from the gift within the gift? And finally, was I alert enough to go after it and to avail myself fully of the opportunity offered to me? Stop, wake up, go. Think about an experience that has stopped you in your tracks. So many of them come in nature, don't they? Standing in vibrating awe before a sunset, or calm stillness before the suffusing surprise of a sunrise. Rapt with almost disbelieving tenderness at the sight of a newborn baby. Giddy in the golden glow of light coming through autumn leaves. Weak in the presence and power of a storm. Stopped. Nature offers a universal invitation to stop and experience gratitude. She's our earliest teacher, presenting us with opportunities to be surprised, amazed, wowed by the extravagant landscape that is given with pizzazz. And really, when you think about it, there is no need for the sky to erupt in color every evening. No need for one flower to be more spectacularly intricate than another, for dew to glisten on grass at dawn, for leaves to radiate light, but it happens, and we are surprised by its sheer gratuitousness. The unmerited gift. When beauty arrests us in nature or music or another person, we're called to pause and notice and absorb it. And we don't have to wait for that wow factor. We can cultivate the practice of stopping and noticing quieter invitations. The satin yellow of a buttercup. the silent soaring of a red-tailed hawk, the persistence and strength of a dandelion pushing through a concrete sidewalk. Even the moment of waking in the morning is an invitation. Noticing my eyes opened. Wow, I see. My skin. I feel. This remembering that we are hearing, seeing, feeling, tasting, this practice of awakening our senses with gratitude is an essential virtue for contemporary life. It is something we can cultivate and carry into the dailiness of our world and its brokenness. Because we need reservoirs of gratitude. Just after 9/11, a poem by Adam Zagajewski appeared on the last page of The New Yorker. I imagine some of you remember it. It had been written years before about life in his native Poland, but it captured our imaginations in that moment, in the wake of the terrible, when grief and terror overwhelmed joy, when we could not know the future. The poet wrote, "Try to praise the mutilated world. Remember June's long days and wild strawberries, drops of wine, the dew. The nettles that methodically overgrow the abandoned homesteads of exiles. You must praise the mutilated world. You watched the stylish yachts and ships. One of them had a long trip ahead of it, while salty oblivion awaited others. You've seen the refugees heading nowhere. You've heard the executioners sing joyfully. You should praise the mutilated world. Remember the moments when we were together in a white room and the curtain fluttered? You gathered acorns in the park in autumn and leaves eddied over the earth's scars. Praise the mutilated world and the gray feather a thrush lost and the gentle light that strays and vanishes and returns. To see beauty, to acknowledge the gift, to recall it, to bless it, to praise it, these are foundational spiritual practices. Because we know that life is not always beautiful. And yet, even then, might there still be an opportunity for praising, for living gratefully? Can giving thanks ever be an appropriate response to suffering? It's a tough question. So to answer it, I turn to teachers who suggest that, yes, even in suffering, there is an opportunity for gratefulness. Brother David came of age in Europe under Hitler and is now 97. And he shares that he suffers from depression. During difficult bouts, it's hard even for him to practice gratefulness. He says that gratefulness practice is simple, but not easy. So he tries then to remember to ask himself, what is my opportunity here? And I remember, he says, that millions of people suffer from depression. And I think of them, and I feel a solidarity with them. I am grateful to feel this connection to humanity. And when I recover myself, I remember them still and think of them with great compassion, for we have suffered together. And I think of ways I can help. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, he talked more about the dilemma of gratitude in the face of suffering. If you get news that your dearest friend has died, or if you are faced with the news of oppression and exploitation, misery and violence, you cannot be grateful for these things. But at every moment, life gives you an opportunity to do something. Therefore, grateful living means learning to avail yourself moment by moment of the opportunity to act. During a time of war, he says, I stood out in the snow with my sign, and sometimes cars honked at me and waved, and other times they shook their fists. And I thought, what good is this protest? But even as I thought that, I was grateful that I was strong enough to stand in the snow and try to make my voice heard. When there is evil, our opportunity is to protest, he says, and we are grateful that we have the courage and strength and persistence to do that. Another teacher I recall is the woman who told me that getting cancer was a gift in her life. That yes, of course she wishes she could go back and never have had to undergo the surgeries, the chemo, the radiation, the loss, the grief, the tears, and the fears. But she told me she would also never trade everything she had learned about herself and what is important in life. And to this day, I cannot dismiss the teaching of the parents whose child was born with such devastating developmental problems that he couldn't live without medical support. And yet he did, for 99 days. Each day that he was alive, his parents gave thanks and praise for his life. His life that taught them how much they could bear and how much they could love. His life that taught them and showed them a model of courage and endurance and silent acceptance and radiant peace. A life that was a blessing to all who encountered him and their parents. But these are hard ways to learn to live a grateful life. St. Augustine claimed that the reward of patience is patience. Similarly, perhaps, the reward of gratitude is more gratefulness. It's a feeling sometimes of spiraling upwards, living ever more gratefully for what we have. But what I have to ask is at the core of that spiral, besides the self. To whom or to what are we grateful? Recall an experience again that you've had, standing, facing awe. Possibly there was a sense of feeling a oneness. Playwright Eugene O'Neill reflected on looking at a night sky once. He said, for a moment, I lost myself. I actually lost my life. I was set free. I dissolved into the high, dim, starred sky. I belonged without past or future, within peace and unity and a wild joy, within something greater than my own life. Perhaps to life itself, or to God, if you want to put it that way. If you want to put it that way. How would you put it? How do you name that to which you belong and give thanks and praise? When we give thanks and we say thank you for a favor, a gift, an unmerited kindness, there is something else, something on the flip side for some folks. Because you could feel, well, indebted. Like we owe something in return. It touches a fear that appearing grateful will put us in a dependent position in a relationship. And that can be uncomfortable. You get that, right? If you aren't doing it all yourself, then you might not be that rugged, independent individual, self-sufficient, the one you thought you were. But you know you didn't get here all by yourself. Our lives, our very births, are dependent upon someone else. But we fall into forgetting. So let's practice remembering and waking up to our interdependence, our interbeing, and feel the awe, the amazement that there is a source from whence blessings flow. And in our direction. We are indebted. We do owe something in return. Attention, at the very least. So this Thanksgiving, friends, stop. Wake up. Go seize the opportunity to be courageous, to be generous, to be kind. Bear witness. Remember. Be amazed and feel the oneness with the migrant workers who picked the pecans and the pumpkins for your pie. With the farmers and the slaughterhouse workers, the florists and the Amazon drivers, the refugees and unhoused families. Give thanks and praise for all these and all the gratuitous blessings of your life and the opportunity to be awake and to add to the light. And inside this space of radical gratitude, noticing the oneness, remember to whom or to what it is that you belong. And let that knowledge be the fulcrum on which your life turns this season. Towards unity, towards compassion, forgiveness, justice, and peace. Amen.
you. Please join me, if you wish, in saying our call to ministry. We go forward in the worship of God to be faithful to the vision of Jesus, to affirm each person's dignity, and to cherish the living earth.
Thank you for joining us together this morning, friends. Please join us for coffee and conversation with your mask on if you need it after today. And to stay if you can for the forum with Sarah at 11 o'clock after this. Thank you, 11:30. And now, receive this benediction. Keep awake. Stand firm in your faith. Be courageous. Be strong. And let all that you do be done in love. Amen. This is the time we set aside for some announcements, and I'm sure there are a few hands that are going to be raised. There are things that we need to know right now. Please raise your hand, I'll bring the microphone.
Just a little addition to the thoughts of my prayer. As you know, we have two forms of Thanksgiving offering. One was the food drive with the Thanksgiving basket bag drive, hugely successful, and the other is the special offering sponsored by Outreach. I'm sure that the Outreach Committee will be speaking more about that, but a number of people have asked about what should they do if they miss the deadline for the food drive. And I think the answer is very simple. We won't be ferrying anymore into Cambridge, but you can give it directly to the food bank right here in Lincoln by taking your bags to the food pantry right behind St. Joseph's. And the Racial Justice Associates and the Outreach Committee are partners in this double effort. I celebrate that. I'm very thankful for it and for the workers on both ends who really do the hard work of getting it out to people who need it. So I would encourage you to do that if you are feeling that you might have missed an opportunity. Thanks.
Good morning, I'm Deanna Ellenema. Thanks, Mary, for the segue. I'm speaking on behalf of the Outreach Committee, and you are not alone. That is the message written in bold on the website of St. Vincent de Paul. This year, our special Thanksgiving Day offering is going to support the work of St. Vincent de Paul. They provide emergency financial assistance and advice about other resources. They deliver over 11,000 pounds of food a month to people who live, work, or go to public school in Lincoln and Weston, regardless of their affiliation or background. Because of higher demand statewide, the need for assistance has increased dramatically. These are our neighbors. Let's do what we can to help St. Vincent de Paul reach their goal that nobody in our community faces hunger or food insecurity. You can send in your donation if you're not here next week, or donate online and just make a note that it's for the special Thanksgiving offering in gratitude.
Good morning, Heather Ray. gathering for the Touch Our Christmas Fair. It is that time again. Remember, this year we have that important town meeting on Saturday. The fair is on Sunday, so come to church and then head up the hill after church for the fair from 12 to 3 p.m. After the fair will be the tree lighting with YPC at 3:30. But most of all, we need your help to help this fair happen this year. So we can use your help before the fair. In the week leading up to it, Tucker Smith is our volunteer extraordinaire. If you see Tucker with a clipboard, sign up with Tucker to help. If you would like to help decorate wreaths, please contact myself or Diana Smith. We will start decorating wreaths on Saturday, this coming Saturday, and decorate them through until we are done. New this year, we will be decorating them not just in the mornings, but from 4 to 8 p.m. on the weekday afternoons, so that if you work or have other duties during the day, come decorate wreaths with me after I get out of work. If you have gorgeous greens in your yard, we would love them for the wreaths. So not spiky things, but Andromeda, winterberry, umbrella pine, pine cones. Go stretch your legs, collect pine cones on a walk. Bring all of those over. We would love to have them starting this Tuesday on the left. If you're looking at the parish house, the left portico, put them there and we would love to have them. If you have them at your house and you can't pick them, contact Diana or I. We'll come pick them for you. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Ken Hurd, and I belong to a small group of amateur pianists, and we call ourselves Rhapsody, and we are performing this afternoon at Bemis, 3 o'clock, and if you're discouraged with the Patriots, come join us.
And on that note, may we go in peace to love and serve the world and one another. Thank you, friends.